Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we embark on a fascinating journey through the annals of time. Today, we find ourselves at the threshold of one of the most pivotal battles in human history, the Battle of Cannae. This epic clash, which took place on a fateful summer day in 216 BCE, would forever etch its mark on the fabric of war and strategy. As we delve into the precursors that led to this cataclysmic confrontation, let us first set the stage by tracing the intricate web of alliances and rivalries that defined the Mediterranean world in the early 3rd century BCE. The Roman Republic, with its burgeoning might, had begun to expand its dominion over the Italian peninsula, while the Carthaginian Empire, under the brilliant and ambitious leadership of Hannibal Barca, sought to challenge Rome's growing hegemony. Hannibal, the son of Hamilcar Barca, a renowned Carthaginian general, had inherited his father's hatred for Rome and his strategic genius. The seeds of conflict were sown in the aftermath of the First Punic War, which had left Rome heavily indebted and militarily overstretched. The Roman legions, though formidable, were not equipped to deal with Hannibal's innovative tactics, which combined lightning-fast cavalry attacks with clever use of terrain and deception. As we explore the historical context of the Battle of Cannae, we find that the Romans were facing not only a brilliant and ruthless enemy, but also internal divisions and weaknesses. The Roman Republic was still reeling from the aftermath of the First Punic War, which had left it struggling to maintain control over its vast territories. The Roman consuls, elected to lead the armies, often found themselves at odds with each other, and the Senate's authority was being challenged by the rising power of the equestrian class. In 218 BCE, Hannibal set out from New Carthage, a city in modern-day Spain, with a vast army of infantry, cavalry, and war elephants. He marched across the Alps, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake, and descended into the Italian peninsula, where he won a series of decisive victories against the Roman armies at the Trebia River and Lake Trasimene. The stage was now set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of Rome and Carthage. The armies of Hannibal and the Roman consuls, Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Gaius Terentius Varro, were converging on the plains of Cannae, a small town in the Apulian region of southern Italy. The terrain was flat and open, ideal for Hannibal's cavalry tactics, and the nearby river Aufidus provided a source of water and a natural barrier against which to anchor his flanks. As we stand at the threshold of this pivotal battle, we find ourselves surrounded by the sights, sounds, and smells of ancient warfare. Join me as we step into the heart of the Battle of Cannae, where strategy and bravery will collide in a spectacle that will leave an indelible mark on the annals of human conflict. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, where we continue our exploration of the Battle of Cannae, one of the most pivotal battles in human history. As we delve deeper into the heart of this ancient conflict, we find ourselves on the sun-scorched plains of Cannae, surrounded by the armies of Hannibal and the Roman consuls, Lucius Aemilius Paulus and Gaius Terentius Varro. The stage is set for a confrontation that will decide the fate of Rome and Carthage. The Roman legions, with their traditional triplex acies formation, are arrayed against Hannibal's innovative tactics, which combine lightning-fast cavalry attacks with clever use of terrain and deception. The air is thick with tension as the two armies face each other, their armor glinting in the sunlight. As the battle commences, we see Hannibal's plan unfolding with precision. His Numidian cavalry, stationed on the flanks, begin to encircle the Roman legions, while his infantry forms a crescent-shaped line, inviting the Romans to attack. The Roman consuls, confident in their traditional tactics, lead the charge, but they are met with a hail of javelins and pylons that weaken their formation. Meanwhile, Hannibal's center begins to retreat, creating a vacuum that draws the Roman legions deeper into the trap. Thus, The Numidian cavalry, now behind the Romans, closes in, cutting off their escape routes and encircling them. The Roman legions, realizing too late that they have been outmaneuvered, are subjected to a merciless onslaught from all sides. As the battle rages on, we witness the genius of Hannibal's tactics, which have turned the traditional Roman strengths into weaknesses. The Roman triplex acies formation, designed to provide protection and support, has become a liability, as the encircled legions are unable to maneuver or escape. The cries of the wounded and the dying fill the air, and the once proud Roman eagles lie broken and trampled on the ground. In the midst of this carnage, we find a moment of eerie calm, as Hannibal surveys the battlefield, his eyes gleaming with strategic brilliance. As he later said, "I did not come to Italy to fight battles, but to win the war." His words echo through the ages, a testament to the enduring power of strategy and innovation on the battlefield. As we stand amidst the devastation of Cannae, we are reminded that this battle was more than just a military victory. It was a turning point in history. The Roman Republic, shaken to its core, would eventually recover and emerge stronger. But the legacy of Hannibal's tactics would live on, influencing generations of military leaders to come. And so, as we conclude our exploration of the Battle of Cannae, we find ourselves at the threshold of a new era, one in which the lessons of history will guide us through the complexities of war and human nature. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, where we conclude our exploration of the Battle of Cannae, one of the most pivotal battles in human history. As we delve into the decline and aftermath of this conflict, we find ourselves navigating a complex web of consequences that would shape the course of human history. The immediate aftermath of the battle saw Hannibal's army victorious, but at great cost. The Romans had suffered staggering losses, with estimates suggesting that between 50,000 to 70,000 soldiers had fallen on the battlefield. The survivors, led by the Roman consul Varro, retreated to the nearby town of Venusia, where they regrouped and assessed the damage. Despite his victory, Hannibal's ultimate goal of winning the war remained elusive. He had hoped that the destruction of the Roman army would lead to a negotiated peace, but the Romans refused to surrender. Instead, they adopted a policy of delay and attrition, hoping to wear down Hannibal's army through a series of small skirmishes and raids. As the years passed, Hannibal's army remained in Italy, but it became increasingly isolated and depleted. The Romans, led by the brilliant strategist Fabius Maximus, employed a strategy of avoidance, refusing to engage Hannibal's army in pitched battles. Instead, they focused on cutting off his supply lines and harassing his troops through guerrilla warfare. Meanwhile, the Carthaginians, who had hoped that Hannibal's victory would lead to a swift conclusion to the war, began to lose patience. They diverted resources away from Italy, focusing instead on defending their territories in Spain and North Africa against Roman counterattacks. In 204 BCE, Hannibal was finally recalled to Carthage, where he was tasked with defending the city against a Roman invasion led by Scipio Africanus. The Battle of Zama, fought in 202 BCE, saw Hannibal's army defeated, and the Carthaginians were forced to sue for peace. The Treaty of Peace, signed in 201 BCE, imposed harsh terms on the Carthaginians, including a significant reduction in their territory and a massive indemnity paid to the Romans. The treaty marked the end of the Second Punic War, but it also set the stage for the eventual destruction of Carthage in the Third Punic War. As we reflect on the decline and aftermath of the Battle of Cannae, we are reminded that this conflict was more than just a military victory. It was a turning point in history. The Romans, shaken to their core by the defeat, would eventually emerge stronger and more resilient, while the Carthaginians would never fully recover from the loss. The legacy of Hannibal's tactics, however, would live on, influencing generations of military leaders to come. His use of innovative strategies, such as the encirclement maneuver, would become a hallmark of military genius, studied by historians and strategists for centuries to come. As we conclude our journey through the Battle of Cannae, we are left with a profound appreciation for the complexities of war and human nature. We have seen how a single battle can shape the course of history, and how the consequences of that battle can echo through the ages. Join me next time on History with Herodotus as we explore more pivotal moments in human history and uncover the lessons that they hold for us today. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember